Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome our guest of honor for this evening, the Minister for Transport and Second Minister for Finance, Mr. Chee Hong Tat. Let's give him a big hand. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may take your seats. We'll be starting shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. And welcome to the 40th anniversary of the Singapore Business Awards. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to start this very special edition of the Singapore Business Awards, we'd like you to put your hands together and welcome on stage two young musicians who both graced the stage of Child Aid in 2024. Playing on piano this evening, we've got Jessie Ming. And Jessie is the youngest ever grand prize winner at the Steinway Youth Piano Competition in 2018. Today, she's a young Steinway artist, which is a prestigious designation for any pianist, for they are chosen to perform exclusively on Steinway pianos. And we'd like to say a thank you to Steinway for loaning your piano to us this evening. Also on stage on violin is Travis Wong, a talented young artist who made headlines in 2021 because at 5 years old, he was the youngest ever candidate to achieve a grade 8 ABRSM distinction in violin. Travis has traveled the world and performed and also won competitions for Singapore. Travis and Jessie represent young budding Singaporean talents of tomorrow, and tonight they open our show with a stunner. They are performing Summer from Vivaldi's Four Seasons. So please give Jessie M and Travis Wong a warm round of applause. All you. And a big round of applause for Jessie M, Travis Wong. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host for this evening, IBF Fellow and Singapore Head at UBS Global Wealth Management. A big round of applause for Patricia Quek.
Minister Chee Hong Tat, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome on behalf of Business Times and DHL Express Singapore. We're very, very glad today that you're here with us, and I hope you've all enjoyed a wonderful performance by our young talent from Child 8, and I thank them, and we thank them, for starting our evening on such an inspiring note. It's my pleasure and honor to be your host this evening. I'm especially delighted to follow in the footsteps of distinguished MCs from before, such as Ms. Jenny Chua, who is here with us this evening. Can we have a spotlight on Jenny? Hi, Ms. Chua. Now, tonight, I'm also very pleased to announce the celebration of Ruby Anniversary between Business Times and DHL, a 40-year partnership made possible through shared passion and commitment. We would also like to acknowledge a special guest who had never missed a single SBA dinner for the last 40 years, except, of course, during COVID. And so can we have a round of applause for Mr. Loh Hun Sun, Senior Advisor from Philips Securities. Spotlight on Mr. Loh. I want table. Here. Can we have a spotlight on Mr. Loh? Yeah. So tonight, show of hands here, who have been married or has been in a relationship for more than 40 years? Oh, wow. We have quite a few. Wow, special night. Congratulations. We would love to hear the secret to a successful relationship. And I've spoken to some couples who shared some excellent advice that gifts and surprises keep relationships exciting. When they're overseas, they will send surprise gifts because we can always depend on DHL. Excellence simply delivered. The first Singapore Business Awards ceremony was held in 1986 during the country's first post-independence recession, and at that time was caused by a US-led global economic slowdown and regional tariffs at that time. Does that sound familiar to you? And to address the challenges at that time, the private sector became the new engine for economic growth. And that brings us to the reason we're all here today, to acknowledge the vital contributions made by companies and business leaders in Singapore's development and to encourage the entrepreneurial spirit in Singapore. So let's give DHL and Business Times a big hand. And over the years, the Singapore Business Award has grown in stature. We thank DHL for 40 years as a sponsor to one of Singapore's most prestigious accolades in the corporate sector. And please clap, thank you. And on that note, may I invite Mr. Christopher Ong, Managing Director of DHL Express, to deliver his welcome remarks. Thank you, Christopher.
Minister Cheong Tat, Minister for Transport and Second Minister for Finance, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. Together tonight, we gather together not just to celebrate a milestone, but a legacy. 40 remarkable years of the Singapore Business Awards. That's right, 4 decades of recognizing brilliance, innovation, and the relentless spirit of excellence that defines our little red dot, Singapore. Can you believe it? In 1985, when the BT DHL Businessman of the Year award was first introduced, It was the first of its kind in Singapore, amid a very different world. We were swaying to the sounds of Madonna and Michael Jackson, and the concept of artificial intelligence was something only we could see in sci-fi movies like The Terminator. I'll be back. But amidst all the transformation in the last 4 decades, one thing has remained constant: the unwavering commitment of business excellence right here in Singapore. Over the years, the awards have evolved with new categories, and they became collectively known as the Singapore Business Awards, a beacon for aspiring entrepreneurs and established leaders alike. Today, the SBA stands tall as the longest-lasting and most prestigious business accolades in our vibrant city-state. Before I continue, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the long-standing partnership between DHL and the Business Times. When the SBA Award started in 1985, we committed to a 5-year partnership. We enjoyed this collaboration so much that we kept it going year after year. And guess what? We're now at 40. This is a testament to the resilience and strength of the relationship, of our partnership, as well as the shared commitment to recognize those who stand at the pinnacle of excellence in our business community. A lot has changed in Singapore over the last 40 years. Our country has transformed itself from a low-cost manufacturing economy into a global hub for finance, technology, life science, and of course, logistics. With one of the world's busiest ports and the #1 airport, our little red dot is also the world's most connected country, according to the latest Global Connectedness Index produced by DHL. Despite the fair share of challenges we've weathered, be it the financial crises in 1985 or 1997 and 2008, and even health events like SARS in 2003, and most recently, the COVID pandemic, we've remained steadfast and resilient as a country with so much to celebrate and be proud of. In fact, this year is extra special as we celebrate Singapore's 60th birthday in August. The resilience we forged throughout our shared experiences and the successes that we earn as a nation have not come easy. And so, the theme for the 40th SBA is, at 40, our spark is brighter than ever. It's befitting of our journey thus far. Tonight, here at the SBA, we took this opportunity to shine the spotlight on 3 of our young musical talents who have all gone to establish themselves on the global stage. You have witnessed Travis and Jessie on the violin and piano earlier, and you will later get to hear Hong Xian on the electone. Jessie, Travis, and Hong Xian performed at the 2024 Child Aid Concert, which is the annual charity concert organized by the Business Times and the Straits Times. In fact, just 6 months ago, the Child Aid Concert was performed to support the ST School Pocket Money Fund, which pays for the needs and the transport fees of socially disadvantaged school-going children, and the BT Budding Artists Fund, which empowers underserved children to nurture their artistic talent. Towards this end, I'm happy to announce that DHL will be making a $10,000 contribution to the ST Pocket Money Fund and BT Budding Artists Fund to support the ongoing work that they are doing. This also continues DHL's commitment to make lasting impact in the communities we operate in globally. This year is an especially eventful one, especially on the geopolitical front. There's a Chinese saying that goes, 当风向转变时，有人筑墙，有人造风车. When the winds of change blow, some erect walls, while others construct windmills. So what do we choose? I believe the answer is clear for all of us in this room. At a recent event organized by the Singapore Business Federation on the impact of the new US tariffs on businesses here, DHL shared 2 key points to bring about some perspective. Firstly, the US currently accounts for just 13% of global imports and 9% of exports. While the US is a major global buyer of goods, there are many other markets out there. So look beyond the US market. In fact, Asia is a good place to start, with the region's trade contributing 26% of global trade in 2000 and 33% in 2024. Secondly, supply chains will continue to be impacted by macroeconomic uncertainties. As our Prime Minister said recently, we should not expect to go back to the pre-Trump era after a few years. So begin your supply chain transformation today, because it takes time to build a strong and resilient supply chain. History has shown that winds of change will keep blowing, but what will set us apart is how we respond to it. Those of us in Singapore can be grateful that we have a firm foundation to build on. Through the pandemic, Singapore has cemented her reputation as a stable and reliable place for businesses to operate. We demonstrated our dependability once again through our steadfast response to the US tariffs. This has caught the attention of a number of our customers who have accelerated their shifts to their operations here. I'm confident that if we continue to unite and confront the challenges before us, we have the power to keep this miracle of Singapore going. Finally, I would like to shine a spotlight to the winners of the 40th Singapore Business Awards. Tonight, we gather not only to reflect on our collective achievements, but honor our winners. They are leaders who exemplify the highest standards of excellence within our business community, embodying boldness, fortitude, resilience, and innovative spirit, which is all very critical in today's VUCA world. Let us inspire one another to continue striving for excellence. At 40, our spark is truly brighter than ever, and I look forward to celebrating more years of excellence with the SBA. So congratulations to all our winners, and I wish everyone a very enjoyable evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ong. And then now, it's my absolute pleasure and privilege to invite a guest of honor to deliver his keynote address. Please join me in welcoming Minister for Transport and Second Minister for Finance up until today. Okay. Mr. Chee Hong Tat, to the stage.
Mr. Chan Eng Kit, CEO of SPH Media, Mr. Christopher Ong, Managing Director, DHL Express Singapore, Mr. Wong Wei Kong, Editor-in-Chief, English Malay Tamil Media Group, Ms. Chen Hui Fen, Editor, Business Times, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. I'm very happy to join you this evening to honor our outstanding companies and business leaders. My heartiest congratulations to all the winners of this year's awards. Ladies and gentlemen, when the Singapore Business Awards was first introduced 40 years ago, Singapore's economy was also going through a difficult period. We were facing our first economic recession in 1985 after decades of uninterrupted growth. There were external challenges, but also internal factors we had to overcome to enable our economy to recover and to bounce back. We are once again facing a more turbulent and uncertain global environment, which is, as Chris said, significantly different from the world order that we are familiar with in the past. So the road ahead will not be easy. There will be more ups and downs, and there will be more twists and turns along the way. The world has become more arbitrary and more protectionistic. It is not the same rules-based, multilateral global order that had enabled a small and open economy like Singapore to thrive. This is not the environment we prefer. But as a small country, we are a price taker. We do not get to choose the environment that we operate in. But it doesn't mean that we don't have agency. We are not without agency. To navigate successfully in these stormy seas, we must make the best use of the cards we have by leveraging on our strengths, continuing to invest in building our enterprise and workforce capabilities, and seeking out new opportunities and partnerships with like-minded economies and companies. In my speech tonight, I will focus on 3 areas. And these are not meant to be exhaustive in terms of how we want to respond to the current situation, but they are some of the key areas that I believe we can focus on. First, strengthen Singapore's position as a trusted business hub. Next, enhance our economic linkages and connectivity with like-minded partners. And third, improve Singapore's competitiveness and optimize the use of our resources through pro-enterprise rules and process review. Let me start with how Singapore can further strengthen our position as a trusted business hub. In a more uncertain world, trust and reliability have become more valuable. This is where Singapore can play to our strengths. And as Chris mentioned earlier, some of DHL's customers are looking at shifting some of their business and operations to Singapore. As a trusted and dependable hub, we can offer stability for long-term investments. The trust premium is a competitive advantage that has enabled Singapore to build a vibrant financial services sector and to become a leading supply chain and logistics hub in Asia. Global companies continue to choose Singapore because they know that they can count on clear rules, consistent policies, and a business-friendly environment. We say what we mean what we say, and whatever we say we will do, we do. For example, DHL has launched its new pharma hub in Singapore about a month ago. This dedicated facility for pharmaceutical logistics is part of DHL Group's $500 million investment into Asia Pacific to bolster its life sciences and healthcare infrastructure. The investment by DHL recognizes the growth potential of Asia Pacific and also Singapore's role as a trusted partner and logistics hub in the region. As uncertainty persists, doubling down on this critical strength will be key to strengthening Singapore's competitiveness in the next phase of our economic growth. We will build on Singapore's trusted reputation and our trust premium and strengthen our foundations by maintaining a strong tripartite partnership between government, employers, and unions, continuing with long-term planning as a key feature of our governance, remaining open to ideas, to talents, and to investments from around the world, and pushing back against divisive and xenophobic policies and politics that have caused problems in so many other societies. Upskilling our workers so that they can seize new opportunities and remain employable in a fast-changing global economy, what we say as lifelong learning for lifelong employability. And investing in R&D and creating an ecosystem which encourages and supports innovation and working with industry partners to cut red tape and provide a more pro-enterprise environment for our businesses. I can go on. There are many more things we need to do. But I think the above steps are some examples of what will help us to reinforce our competitiveness and allow Singapore to better seize new opportunities and grow a range of high-value sectors that can benefit from our stability, integrity, and strong governance. Now, the second area is we must continue to stay connected with the world and to forge closer trade links with like-minded economies and companies. Now, given the fluid situation that we're in right now, it's going to be quite difficult to predict the eventual shifts in global trade routes and supply chains. I think it's something that is still ongoing, and we will have to monitor this carefully. But regardless of what will unfold in the months ahead, we will do our best to ensure that Singapore will remain relevant and can continue to be a key node where trade can flow through freely and reliably. So no matter how the supply chains shift, Singapore will remain relevant and remain as a logistics hub, a key node in the supply chains. Chris earlier mentioned that the US currently accounts for about 13% of global imports. It is the world's largest economy. So yes, it is the 800-pound gorilla, as some of the US government leaders describe themselves, but it is not the only gorilla around. There are also other gorillas and great apes, and although they may weigh less than 800 pounds individually, collectively, their combined weight is actually much more than 800 pounds. So we need to forge our path ahead, and it is precisely in times like this that we need to open up more, not close up, not look inwards, not erect barriers, but to actually open up even more, so that we are able to team up with other like-minded partners to strengthen trade connectivity and to ensure continued access to growth opportunities. Many of these would not be opportunities that is within Singapore, but opportunities that companies from Singapore can tap on in the region. So if we look at ASEAN, which is in our neighborhood, Singapore, together with our ASEAN neighbors, have reaffirmed our support for a rules-based multilateral trading system, and we have jointly agreed to deepen economic integration amongst ASEAN member states at the special ASEAN Economic Ministers meeting last month. So I'm glad to see that many other countries do share Singapore's belief in preserving a multilateral rules-based global trading system. And to date, we have established a strong network of 28 free trade agreements and 5 digital economy agreements. And I hope we can grow this list further. We will work towards implementing more bilateral and multilateral agreements, including the Mercosur-Singapore FTA with Latin America, and welcoming more like-minded partners to join the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, or CPTPP. We must continue to stay open and to bring down, or where possible, eliminate trade and non-trade barriers so that we can allow more trade flows between partner economies. And this is why Singapore has been working actively with our ASEAN neighbors to be able to open up more via the ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement, or ATIGA, which has been enforced since 2010. So under the ATIGA, Singapore, including the other nations, have already removed virtually all import tariffs. The remaining 4 nations have also reduced their import duties down to between 0 and 5% on nearly 99% of their tariff lines. Now, of course, this is not 100%, so I think there's still some room for improvement, and we hope we can go further and remove the tariffs completely. But it's not just trade barriers. We also need to look at non-trade barriers. So this is why efforts are underway to upgrade ATIGA by reducing non-trade barriers, incorporating sustainable trade standards, and emerging priorities such as supply chain resilience. In a more uncertain global environment, ASEAN needs to speed up our economic integration efforts within our region and also with other partner economies. I don't think we have a choice. This is not the time to take our time and to slow down, to do it gradually. This is a time for us to move quickly, to speed up the economic integration in our region. If we can do this, then the enhancements will help to increase intra-ASEAN trade and deepen ASEAN's economic integration, which will benefit our companies and our workers. And they will also enable businesses to build more secure and agile supply chains across the region to mitigate the risks from external shocks and from protectionism. Now, beyond establishing trade agreements, we should also facilitate more cross-border collaborations. And one example is the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone. For businesses, this means greater access to a wider talent pool, more diversified supply chains, and opportunities to leverage on the competitive advantages and complementary strengths of Johor and Singapore. By tapping on a broad range of resources, the Special Economic Zone will enable businesses to better optimize their operations, reduce costs, and to scale up more efficiently across the region. And of course, what the governments can do from both sides is to look at how we can facilitate the movement of people and goods between Singapore and the Special Economic Zone. The third and final area I want to touch on is we should continually review our rules and processes to cut red tape and to reduce business costs, to improve our efficiency and how we use scarce resources. This is a part of improving Singapore's productivity and competitiveness. By adopting a risk-based approach, we can also calibrate our rules and regulations to enable businesses to seize new opportunities. And this is one area where I believe the government can work in partnership with our businesses, with the industry. Why do I say that? Because for the businesses, you know where some of these pain points are, where are some of these areas for improvement, because you deal with some of these on a regular basis. For the government, without your input, we may not be able to pinpoint where exactly the red tape would be, where the areas for improvement would be, but with your inputs, I think we can zoom in a more precise manner. But businesses on your own, you can't change the rules because you don't have the authority to amend the rules. That you will have to get permission and approval from the government agencies. So I see this as actually a good partnership. If we can work together with your inputs, the government agencies can then know where are the areas for improvement, and then we can work with you to be able to improve our rules and processes to reduce costs, to cut down on processing time, turnaround time, and to open up more opportunities for innovation. So under the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Pro-Enterprise Rules Review that is led by DPM Gan Kim Yong, we have made some progress in identifying areas for improvement following extensive engagements with industry stakeholders. DPM Gan announced at MTI's Committee of Supply debate earlier this year 3 key commitments to enhance our business environment. And these include publishing and streamlining of service standards for business regulatory applications to within 30 working days where feasible, extending license validity of up to 3 years as a start to provide greater certainty, and simplifying regulatory processes to minimize sequential approval and duplicative information requests so that we cut down on the processing time. Now, I want to be quite clear that this is a continuous improvement process. It doesn't mean that today we are there. I think there's still room for improvement, but we want to continue to engage with our stakeholders to make further enhancements. And I would like to invite all of you to please work with us, work with our agencies, help us to be able to help you. Now, this evening, I would like to take this opportunity to share with everyone some of the rules review initiatives from the MOT family across our 3 sectors, air, land, and sea. So first, on air transport. We have previously introduced several pro-enterprise rules review initiatives to help to reduce business costs. So these include the fee reduction for drone light show operators that PM Wong mentioned during last year's National Day rally. If you have a drone light show that will involve, say, 1,000 drones, previously, every drone, you need to pay $25. So this means if you have a light show that involves 1,000 drones, your application fee is $25,000. Forget about it. no one is going to do the light show. So we reviewed this, and we reduced the license fee instead of drone by drone to show by show. For every show, now the license fee is 500. And we removed the need for you to paste stickers on every drone. So we cut down on the time that's required, and that's also something to help the operators. CAS also streamlined the approval process for cargo trackers that are used by air cargo shippers, so I hope that will benefit DHL too, helping them to be able to save time and money. So another example which I want to share with everyone is something that my CAS colleagues have been working together with the International Civil Aviation Organization, or ICAO, to review the height restriction requirements around airports. The existing requirements were set in the 1950s. And since then, there have been technological advancements in aircraft and air navigation systems. CAS has been chairing the international task force under ICAO that was established to review these requirements to enable more airspace surrounding airports to be freed up for developments while ensuring aviation safety. The revised requirements resulting from this task force work will come into effect internationally from August this year. And it will allow buildings in different areas across Singapore to be built higher, potentially up to 15 stories more for residential buildings and up to 9 stories more for industrial and commercial buildings. Now, the achievable benefits will, however, be contingent on other infrastructure and planning considerations. So more studies need to be done by various agencies to confirm the increase in height restrictions in Singapore, but this change will support further land intensification, which is very important because Singapore is land scarce, and we want to maximize our land productivity. Now, this will help to open up opportunities for our businesses and have the potential to increase our overall housing supply that I believe will also benefit all Singaporeans. Now, next, on land transport. LTA colleagues have implemented several rules and process changes to reduce the time required to construct bus shelters used to take 14 weeks. They have cut it down now to 4 weeks. LTA has streamlined the approval processes for street works, which includes the construction of bus shelters, and they also employ modular construction techniques for bus shelters that involves using prefab components that can be quickly assembled on-site. Now, with the new arrangements, contractors can benefit from time savings and also reduce labor costs. So I've asked LTA to apply this same approach for developers and contractors who are working on other public and private projects. Streamline the application and approval process by LTA, communicate the requirements clearly to stakeholders, and help businesses to save time and to save money where possible. And just as what we have done to remove the need for LTA to send letters to motorists who have ERP arrears, later this year, if you have ERP arrears, there will be an alert on the display of your OBU, and you can make payment and settle the arrears by pressing a button on the display. No need to send letters, and therefore no need to charge $10 admin fee. I think this is a win-win arrangement for both LTA and our motorists. So again, later this year, LTA will be expanding its existing vehicle parking proposal and plans lodgement scheme to include additions and alterations, or A&A works, at residential, commercial, and mixed development car parks. What this means is that the works can now commence immediately once the lodgement is done, instead of having to wait for at least 3 weeks to obtain application approval. So no need to wait anymore. You do the lodgement, and you take it that approval is given immediately. So as more than 50% of applications submitted last year for car parks in residential, commercial, and mixed developments were for A&A works, the proposed improvements by LTA will help developers and the built environment industry to save quite a bit of time. Now, lastly, on sea transport, our colleagues at MPA had also worked with the industry to introduce several pro-enterprise rules review measures. And these include the waiver on the need for security deposits and bankers' guarantees for billing parties who are assessed to be of lower credit risk. And I understand altogether this can help to save about $20 million every year. MPA has also allowed night movement of line-towed barges at Pasir Panjang terminal to help our shipping companies to be able to save costs and improve productivity. MPA has also developed a digital twin for the Port of Singapore, and this can enable dynamic monitoring of key activities and data, such as vessel movements, port activities, and weather conditions. And for businesses, we hope this can translate to greater operational efficiency, predictability, and resilience. For instance, shipping companies can now benefit from real-time visibility of port traffic and operations and take steps to reduce their waiting times and operating costs. The digital twin has also enabled MPA to perform a comprehensive three-dimensional mapping of the seabed by integrating data from multiple agencies, including PUB and SLA. And this will allow businesses to better optimize the installation and routing of underwater cables by avoiding obstacles and potential risks, such as damaging other existing cables. So it will, I believe, reduce the cost and reduce the time taken by companies who need to lay cables. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've shared with you some examples. These are just some illustration of what we have done in the Ministry of Transport. But we do this because we believe that creating a pro-enterprise environment and helping our businesses, both large companies and also our SMEs, to reduce costs is part of the government's mission. As Minister, I will continue to work with my colleagues to make this objective of helping our businesses to reduce costs and to do well a priority for my ministry, whether it's the Ministry of Transport or the Ministry of National Development. We will empower and support our officers to take calculated risks and to surface their ideas, provide top-down support for their ground-up ideas. Many of these ideas that I shared with you came either from the industry, feedback from the industry, some of them came from our officers. So this is something that we hope to be able to encourage our officers to feel that they are supported, they are empowered to work with the industry and to surface good ideas. And we support them to then make those rules and process changes. Now, this is not just an exercise to think about what new things to do. It is also about instilling the discipline of taking a hard look at what existing initiatives we should stop, what red tape we can cut, and how we can operate more efficiently so that if we can save time, we can save money, we can pass through some of these savings to you, our businesses. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude my speech. The road ahead will be uncertain and we will face tough challenges. But this government will have your back and we will walk this journey with you as one united Team Singapore. The way forward is not for us to turn our backs on globalization. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, I think we should open up even more and we should embrace collaborations, trade with other countries, with companies from other economies, with like-minded partners. We must double down on staying open and connected with the world and take steps to enhance our trusted reputation, our productivity, and our partnerships. In these turbulent times, it is more critical than ever for like-minded countries and partners to foster closer collaboration and build a more resilient international trading system. And for Singapore to leverage on our strengths as a trusted hub, our excellent connectivity, our openness to trade and talent, our ability to plan long-term, and importantly, our strong tripartite partnership. I've shared some thoughts this evening on how Singapore can navigate this new world order. As the Singapore Economic Resilience Task Force continues our work, my colleagues and I will welcome feedback from our industry, from all of you, so that we can seize new opportunities for Singapore. We want to partner you and work closely with you on this. Our strong tripartite partnership is a unique strength of Singapore, which other countries will find it difficult to replicate. We have forged a strong social compact built on solidarity and trust in one another. So let us build on this and enable Singapore to emerge stronger and continue to shine bright like a bright spark, even as the world around us may grow darker with uncertainty. In this way, Singapore can remain a beacon of light and optimism in the region, like a lighthouse, providing passage safely for ships sailing in stormy seas. Thank you very much.
Minister, thank you very much. That felt like a budget briefing, but yes, thank you. And thank you all for listening in to Minister. Minister, congratulations on your resounding election results in the recent GE. I'm also a voter at Bishan, but my vote is secret. Congratulations as well on your new portfolio as the Minister for National Development. We will be back very shortly, ladies and gentlemen, with the rest of the program. And I'm standing between you and your dinner. On that note, I'm very pleased to say that dinner is served. Welcome back, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The awards will now begin.
Welcome back, everyone. It looks like everyone is enjoying the evening, very much so. Now it's time to get back to business. We have 5 awards to present tonight, and the first is the Young Business Leader of the Year. The award recognizes an individual under the age of 45 who has displayed strong leadership, entrepreneurship, and drive. The recipient has shown ability to adapt to a changing business environment and has made an outstanding contribution to the company's financial success while also putting Singapore brand on the global map. Now, let me give you some clues. Our winner is a young Singapore Jack Ma. 40 is tonight's magic number. That's the age of our winner. The company he co-founded has been described as the Alibaba of cars and named the fastest growing company in APAC by Financial Times. At just 13 years old, he launched his first tech business from a HDB flat and a second tech company at 16 years old. And by 21, he has sold both. He's a true serial entrepreneur. He said, and I quote, "He's always hungry, but can always be hungrier." May we have the video, please?
At just 39, Aaron Tan has already lived a few lifetimes worth of achievement. A tech founder, a venture capitalist, and a self-taught programmer. Aaron's story is one of grit, bold decisions, and a relentless drive to build the future. It all started in the public libraries of Singapore. As a teenager, Aaron taught himself to code by reading programming books. And by 13, he had launched his first tech venture. By 21, he had built and sold 2 companies and was earning thousands of dollars a day online. All this while secretly dropping out of junior college to focus on what he loved, software and innovation. His passion eventually brought him to SMU and Carnegie Mellon, graduating summa cum laude with degrees in computer science supported by a full government scholarship. After a successful stint at Singtel Innovate Ventures, Aaron co-founded Caro in 2015 with 2 university friends. Their mission? To completely reinvent how people buy and sell cars in Southeast Asia. In under 5 years, Caro went from startup to unicorn, raising over $600 million from global investors like Temasek, SoftBank, and GIC. Today, it operates in 7 markets, employs over 4,500 people, and continues to push boundaries in retail, financing, insurtech, and after-sales. But it hasn't all been smooth roads. During the pandemic, Caro's revenue plummeted 80% overnight. Aaron responded with empathy and innovation, taking a 50% pay cut and pivoting the company to go fully digital. That crisis gave birth to Caro Anywhere, a contactless car buying experience that changed the industry. Aaron has led Caro through game-changing innovations, from AI-powered car pricing to subscription-based services dubbed Netflix for cars. Under his leadership, the company has made bold acquisitions, strategic partnerships, and launched in new markets, including Japan and Hong Kong. But beyond business, Aaron has always given back. From co-founding Block 71, Singapore's first startup hub, to launching scholarships and hackathons with AWS, he's committed to nurturing the next generation of tech talent. Along the way, he's earned accolades like Tech Leader of the Year and built one of the Asia-Pacific's fastest-growing companies. Yet, through it all, he remains grounded, driven not by fame, but by purpose. But one thing's certain, whether it's coding in a library, leading a unicorn, or inspiring future founders, Aaron Tan, Young Business Leader of the Year 2025, is always steering towards something greater.
May I now invite Mr. Aaron Tan, co-founder and CEO of Caro Group, to come on stage to receive the Young Business Leader of the Year award. And I'd also like to invite Mr. Christopher Ong up on stage. The Young Business Leader Award of the Year goes to Mr. Aaron Tan in recognition of his bold and unwavering commitment to build a technology-first company that is revolutionizing the automotive marketplace. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mr. Tan. May I now invite you to say a few words.
Mr. Chee Hong Tat, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here tonight. Well, before I start my speech, I want to, say thank you to the organizers again. Actually, I told the organizers maybe it's not a great idea to review my age, but they did it anyway. I must confess, right, when I was first told that, literally over a WhatsApp message, the editor texted me and said that, Aaron, you're given this award. I was a bit surprised, right? Because, first of all, I didn't think that I was young enough to qualify as a young business leader. But more importantly, to be very frank, in my company, I'm really trying to make myself redundant, right? So for not being that young, but and trying to be redundant in the company, I'm not sure if I'm deserving of this award, but thank you very much, BT and DHL anyway. At Caro, we started with a simple idea to basically make car buying and selling easy, right? And in fact, simpler, smarter across Southeast Asia. Instead, But today, I'm proud to say that we are one of the fastest growing company across APAC. We expanded beyond the shores of Singapore a long time back, right? So today we are in 7 countries and soon hopefully in 8 countries. We sell more than 100,000 vehicles per year now across these 8 markets. And while we are doing all these things, our revenues and company has over the years, I think more than 20, 30 times, but let's just say that revenues last year was above $1 billion. And what is more important, if you may, today as a tech company, is that we managed to do all these things profitably, right? To be very frank, not too shabby for a 9-year-old company. This award isn't mine alone. It belongs to the entire Caro team, our AI engineers, our mechanics, our front-end staff, our back-end office, the unsung heroes who have built this company one crisis at a time. To all investors, partners, thank you for trusting us, especially when we were still explaining how do you actually buy and sell a car online. Over these 9 years of building Caro, if there's any one thing that I've truly learned about leadership, it is this. It is not about being in every meeting. It's making sure that we hire the right people, we empower them to do the right things, and knowing when to disappear and when to make yourself redundant in the meetings in that sense, right? So that the people that you have built can drive even faster, further, than you ever would drive alone, right? So thank you once again for this incredible honor to be here tonight. And if you're ever thinking of buying and selling your cars, please remember, Caro.
Congratulations once again, Mr. Aaron Tan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our next award, which is the Enterprise Award. The Enterprise Award recognizes local companies in Singapore that excel in innovation, entrepreneurship, management, financial performance, and community contribution. The company we are honoring tonight is turning 40 this year, yet another special milestone. It began as an OEM manufacturer of personal computers, sound cards, and digital cordless telephones, and has since evolved to develop its own proprietary brand of IoT products and solutions. Today, the group operates 3 R&D centers across Singapore, Hong Kong, and China. The company literally lights up the world. May I invite Mr. Michael Mann. Oh, sorry, video first.
In the world of technology, staying ahead isn't just about innovation, it's about vision, courage, and staying power. For over 40 years, Michael Mun has been doing just that, transforming not just a company, but an entire legacy of progress. Michael began his journey in 1975 at Rank O'Connor's, a British electronics distributor. Just over a decade later, in 1986, he founded Aztec, a modest PC manufacturer at the time, but with boundless potential. Under his leadership, Aztec evolved from building personal computers and sound cards to becoming a global provider of cutting-edge IoT devices, smart lighting systems, and electronic manufacturing solutions. Michael's secret? A relentless focus on innovation and an unwavering belief in people. From Singapore to Guangdong to Malaysia, his team now spans more than 2,000 strong, working across R&D, design, and manufacturing. In 2021, Aztec listed on the Singapore Exchange, a bold move that reflected not just business success, but decades of groundwork and strategic foresight. And the numbers speak volumes. In 2024 alone, revenue hit over 620 million Singapore dollars, and profits soared, even as the company reinvested into new facilities, new technologies, and new frontiers. But for Michael, success has never been just about numbers. Community is at the heart of Aztec's mission, from home makeover projects in Singapore to charity efforts in Dongguan. Because giving back, he believes, is part of building forward. He's also a firm believer in grooming the next generation. With Jeremy Mun stepping up as Executive Director and COO, the family legacy continues, with a focus on sustainability, digitization, and smart manufacturing. The accolades are many, from being named one of Forbes Asia's Best Under a Billion to clinching sustainability and transparency awards. But what truly defines Michael Mun is his tireless drive to stay ahead of the curve. At 75, Michael Mun remains the driving force of Aztec, proof that age is no limit when your passion is building the future. Congratulations, Michael. This recognition is more than well-deserved. It's a celebration of your life's work and your relentless pursuit of excellence.
May I now invite Mr. Michael Mun, Executive Chairman and CEO as Aztec Global Limited, to come on stage to receive the Enterprise Award. And to present, may I invite Mr. Chang Yen Kit, CEO of SPH Media. The Enterprise Award goes to Aztec Global Limited for its steadfast commitment as a full-fledged provider of electronic design, engineering, and manufacturing solutions for IoT and electronic products. Aztec drives sustainable growth through innovation and manufacturing excellence. Warmest congratulations to Aztec. Mr. Mun, congratulations. May I invite you to say a few words?
Good evening, Mr. Chee Hong Tat, Minister for Transport and Second Minister for Finance, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly honored to stand before you today to accept this award on behalf of Aztec Global. Winning the Enterprise of the Year award is a great pride, not just for me, but for our entire team who has worked tirelessly to bring our vision to life. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Business Times and DHL Express Singapore for this recognition. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the incredible team at Aztec. This award is a reflection of their hard work, commitment, and passion. To our board of directors, thank you for your dedication and guidance. A special thanks also to our customer and business partners. Your trust and support have been the driving force behind our success. Finally, to my family and friends, thank you for your support and encouragement over the years, which have been very truly invaluable. ASEC was founded in 1986. This year we celebrate our 40 years celebration. Focusing on developing new electronic products, we develop personal computers and sound cards for international markets. We have since continued our journey to develop products in the data communication, lighting, and IoT sectors. Today, we have three R&D centers and 2 manufacturing plants, producing innovative products for our customers. This award is indeed a key milestone for us. We are motivated to continue pushing boundaries, creating opportunity, and making a difference in our industry and community. Thank you once again for this incredible honor. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Man, and congratulations once again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention so far. I'm well aware we're standing between you and your main course, so we will serve it now. Enjoy your dinner, catch up with friends new and old, and enjoy the entertainment coming up. Bon appetit.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're enjoying dinner. You know, we started this evening with two very talented performers that appeared at the Child Aid concert last year in support of the Straits Times School Pocket Money Fund and the Business Times Budding Artists Fund. Now, we present another. Yi Hong Shan, a remarkable young musician whose passion and talent have earned him recognition on some of Singapore's biggest stages. A longtime student of Yamaha music, Hong Shan has developed both as a composer and a performer. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are sure you are going to enjoy his original compositions that he has written himself, two songs by special order, Mosaic Fiesta and Downtown. Can you please put your hands together and welcome Yi Hong Shan on stage. I need lights. Let him, yeah, okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you missed that, that was Yi Hong Shan. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you, Hong Shan. Okay, dinner will now resume. Listen up for this, an announcement when we are about to start the awards once again. Have a pleasant evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting the next award segment in 3 minutes' time. We'll be starting the highlight of our awards program in 3 minutes' time. Please take your seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the awards will now begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've now reached the second half of our awards program.
Ladies and gentlemen, kindly take your seats. The awards program is currently run on stage.
We have a table there who is taking photo, so must give them their photo moment. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, we're now reaching the second half of our awards program, where we're presenting 3 more coveted honors: the Outstanding Overseas Executive of the Year, the Outstanding Chief Executive of the Year Award, and finally, the Businessman of the Year Award. Let's begin with the Outstanding Overseas Executive of the Year Award. This award is presented to a Singaporean who has excelled in leading a business enterprise abroad, a true Singapore talent flying our flag high on foreign shores. Our winner is a homegrown Singapore executive who helms a NASDAQ-listed tech firm with over 40,000 employees across 22 countries. He's worked and lived in the US and is a regular blogger for the firm he led. Who do you think it is? May we have the video, please?
In the fast-evolving world of technology, staying ahead of the curve takes more than vision. It takes leadership, resilience, and a deep understanding of people. Today we celebrate a leader who embodies all that and more, Irving Tan, Chief Executive Officer, Western Digital. From his early days as a graduate trainee to helming one of the world's largest hard drive manufacturers, Irving's journey is a masterclass in global leadership. Irving took on the CEO role at Western Digital in February 2025, steering the company through one of its boldest transformations, the separation of its flash and hard disk drive business into 2 distinct entities. Under his leadership, the hard disk drive business continues to thrive as a standalone powerhouse. But his story goes far beyond the boardroom. With over 2 decades of experience spanning operations, sales, and innovation, Irving has led with clarity, curiosity, and an unwavering focus on people. At Western Digital, he previously served as Executive Vice President of Global Operations, overseeing everything from manufacturing and supply chain to IT, building resilient systems and high-performing teams across the world. Before joining Western Digital, Irving held several key roles at Cisco, including a stint as chair for the Asia-Pacific, Japan, and China, where he led growth, drove innovation, and deepened customer partnerships in one of the most dynamic regions on the planet. Whether at Cisco, HP, or A.T. Kearney, Irving's impact has always been marked by transformation, turning strategy into action and people into purpose-driven teams. As the tech industry steps into a more sustainable future, Irving is guiding Western Digital to meet ambitious goals, from net zero emissions to full renewable energy use. Outside of the corporate world, Irving continues to give back, having served on the boards of PSA International, Singapore's EDB, Stanley Black & Decker, and is today the chairman of SATS. He's a leader who builds not just businesses, but futures. Irving Tan's journey is a reminder that real leadership is measured not just in milestones, but in the lives you shape and the legacies you leave. Irving Tan, Outstanding Overseas Executive of the Year 2025, leading with purpose, power, and heart.
May I invite Mr. Stephen Lee, Chairman of the Singapore Business Awards Judging Panel, to present the award. The Outstanding Overseas Executive Award goes to Mr. Irving Tan, CEO of Western Digital, in recognition of his trailblazing achievements and exemplary track record in driving operational excellence and transforming Western Digital. Our warmest congratulations to Mr. Irving Tan. May I now invite Mr. Tan to say a few words.
Mr. Chee Hong Tat, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my heartfelt thanks to the Singapore Business Awards Committee for this award. I'm honored to receive this recognition and to be here today alongside all the other talented winners. Congratulations to you all. I would like to especially extend a special thanks to my wife, Nicole, who's here with me, my parents and my children. Without their support, sacrifice, and understanding, I wouldn't have been able to do what I do, especially when I spend very little amount of my time in Singapore, unfortunately. I would also like to call out all the colleagues that I've had the pleasure of working with and learn from so much from across different geographies over the years, and particularly all my Western Digital colleagues here today as well, seated at the back. The opportunity to work in and lead global organizations has provided me with unique perspectives and experiences to deal with the scale and complexities of a global business, as well as a dynamic and at times very volatile environment, especially the world we live in right now. Having said all that, I still wake up every morning very excited about the day ahead, although the days lately have become very, very long. As Singapore businesses look to become more global and spawn our own MNCs like SATS, I'm very appreciative to have been able to contribute back to their growth and development. I hope to see more Singaporean executives. In fact, I would challenge you to take on global roles, make an impact internationally with your companies, and most importantly, contribute back to the success and growth of Singapore companies as they continue their contributions to the nation and beyond. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, and once again, Mr. Irving Tan. Moving on, we have two more awards for this evening. The next one being the Outstanding Chief Executive of the Year Award. As some of you may know, this award is presented to a CEO who is ordinarily resident in Singapore and has demonstrated outstanding leadership and managerial skills, made significant contributions to the company's performance, and contributed to Singapore as a whole. While women currently make up about 12% of CEOs in Singapore, the financial success and impact are undeniable. Female CEOs remain a rare breed, a unicorn in the business world, and just like unicorns, they bring a touch of magic in everything they do. Tonight's lucky number is, thank you, 40. Our winner has come full circle. Her first job was at this 4-letter word firm 40 years ago. She also famously said, "Women face unlimited challenges, but with soft power comes unlimited possibilities." May we have the video, please?
She began her journey as a fresh-faced management trainee. Today, she's the trailblazing leader of one of Asia's most prominent banks. Meet Helen Wong. a visionary, a changemaker, and the first woman to helm a local Singapore bank. Helen's story with OCBC started in 1984, and what a journey it's been. From OCBC's first China desk manager to nearly 3 decades at HSBC, where she rose to become chief executive for Greater China. In 2021, Helen returned to OCBC, taking the helm as Group CEO of OCBC and later joining its board as executive director. A full circle moment marked by bold leadership and a renewed vision for growth. At the heart of Helen's leadership is a clear, future-focused strategy. She sharpened OCBC's focus on the high-growth ASEAN Greater China corridor, championed transformation and digitalization, and launched a refreshed brand that boldly proclaims, "For now and beyond." Helen's One Group approach has transformed OCBC into a powerhouse of synergy, delivering seamless solutions across markets and services. Under Helen's leadership, OCBC has posted record profits for 3 years running. She has invested in regional tech hubs and made strategic acquisitions that strengthened its regional presence. She led the move to deepen OCBC's stake in Great Eastern Holdings and spearheaded the acquisition of PT Bank Commonwealth in Indonesia, positioning the group for even stronger growth in the years ahead. Helen believes great businesses are built on great people. Under her leadership, the bank invested more than 60 million Singapore dollars to upskill employees and launched an AI-powered career tool, Mobi, transforming OCBC into a skills-first, forward-looking workplace. She's also nurturing the next generation of talent through OCBC Ignite, fast-tracking young minds to banking careers with purpose and potential. A passionate advocate for sustainability, Helen set up OCBC's Sustainability Task Force upon her return. Today, OCBC is a regional leader in sustainable finance, far surpassing its green financing targets and leading impactful initiatives like mangrove reforestation and seagrass research. And in tech, OCBC is blazing trails, from AI tools for staff to near-instant cross-border payments and a bold 500 million Singapore dollar investment in Punggol. Helen Wong's story is one of vision, resilience and reinvention. A role model in leadership, a pioneer for women in finance, and a driving force in shaping the future of banking in Asia. Congratulations, Helen, for inspiring us all to lead boldly, for now and beyond.
May I now invite our outstanding Chief Executive, Ms. Helen Wong, Group CEO of OCBC, up on stage to receive the award. And I would also like to invite Mr. Stephen Lee, Chairman of the SBA Judging Panel, back on stage to present the award. The Outstanding Chief Executive Award goes to Ms. Helen Wong for sharpening OCBC's ASEAN Greater China focus and maximizing the synergies of OCBC's banking, wealth management, insurance, and asset management franchise. Ms. Wong has also accelerated OCBC's sustainability journey, advanced its tech talent development, and strengthened digital capabilities. Congratulations, Ms. Wong. May I now have you say a few words?
As I expected, technology now asks me to type in my password. I guess I'm too heavily maked up so it doesn't recognize my face. Okay, so allow me to spend a bit of time. First of all, guest of honor, Minister and Minister for Transport and Second Minister for Finance, Mr. Chee Hong Tat, sorry. Not sure why I start with this, but okay, let me really focus. So I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, and I'm deeply honored to receive the award, and very much from the hands of Stephen. And Stephen shared with me some background, and has been speaking Cantonese the whole evening, so I've been enjoying that, so thank you, Stephen. Good evening. Thank you for this very big award. I am truly overwhelmed. When I was first told about the award, the first word that came to my mind is indeed grateful. So I'm grateful to have the opportunity to come back after many years, after 30-something years, to run a high-performing organization with an amazing team. So I have been OCBC CEO for a bit over 4 years now. I was excited to rejoin OCBC in 2020. And there is a good reason. Well, I did say I rejoined because I started as my first banking job is actually OCBC as a trainee, and I arrived in Singapore in 1984. I was excited for another reason. When I was invited by OCBC, say, hey, will you want to come back and do something? I was looking at a very new, actually it's not a very new megatrend, but it's a megatrend that is rapidly advancing and progressing, which is about intra-Asia trade, investments and wealth flows. And before that, I think back in the 90s to early 2000s, China-US trade was growing exponentially. But when I was looking at what I'm looking at OCBC then, when I decided to return to the company, it's clear to me that there is no other organization better positioned to take advantage of this huge opportunity. I wouldn't go on to talk about OCBC and talk about how much presence we have in whatever market, but indeed we have very deep knowledge of ASEAN. We are in Malaysia for over 100 years, starting 1917, I think, when we were in Penang, Malacca, and more. And in China too, this year we're in China for 100 years, when one of our founder banks actually started Xiamen branch exactly 100 years ago in China. In short, I was convinced that, and I'm very convinced now, OCBC is in the right place at the right time. We just need the right approach. So by that, I mean a one-group approach. It is about all the pieces working with 1 + 1 bigger than 2. And I think I have this strong belief. It is because I have a big love for sports. So you have to allow me to cover a little story, okay, about sports. I went to Edmonton, Canada, for the 1983 Summer Universiade. It is now called the World University Games. That year, 92 countries in the world attended. So you say, Helen, what do you play? So interestingly, with my height, I played basketball for the Hong Kong team. And because I played basketball, we have special passes to have the best seat to watch the men's basketball games. Okay. So when we arrived, people were talking about Michael Jordan possibly coming. He has already signed up NBA, and he has signed up a big contract with a sports company as well. But indeed, everybody was expecting for the men's sports. In basketball, US is going to win in that year. In particular, they have already captured 4 consecutive gold medals at the university. So the roster that year included university players, of course, because we're university games, right? And include those who have already signed to NBA. And among them were Charles Barkley, ring a bell, still a commentator, I think, and Karl Malone. And however, somehow Michael Jordan didn't come. But not disappointingly, everybody thought that US will be the champion, will get the gold medal. Eventually, US lost to Canada, the home team, at the semifinals, and the score was 85-77. It was one of the lowest score at that level, okay? Meaning high score would be 110 to 105, something like that. So the US team went on to grab the bronze medal, whereas Canada claimed the gold after defeating Yugoslavia in the finals. I was there sitting in very front seat watching US versus Canada, and I thought the whole audience was very stunned and impressed by the Canadian team. And you can imagine how noisy it is, right? Home team playing against the US. And the Canadians, as we have arrived and we learned that they vowed to take the gold medal for basketball. So, and they did it. They did it. I was told they put in a lot of hard work, pulling all the members from the university, forming a team, and practice long hours so that they are the A team, and eventually won the award. So what I learned is, as a university student, is by putting in the hard work with your best teammates, determined to win as one, you would give yourself a very good chance to take the trophy home. At this point, I don't know whether you want to ask me, Helen, what about your team? We thought before we went to Canada that there would be other Asian teams. Maybe Singapore will send a team, maybe Malaysia will send a team. So hopefully we're put into the same round robin so that maybe we have a chance to win one match or whatever. So surprisingly, of that many countries and markets, only 10 women basketball teams. So we end up being 10th. So the fact is, with all the hard work and training the Hong Kong team put together, it's not enough because we were at a standard much lower than the 3 teams we play at round robin. And they are the first match, UK, the second match, France, and the last match, US. So what I also learned is you must put in all your hard work, but you have to you must be in the league, right? So tonight I have a lot of my team here, all of whom I have the pride and honor of working with. We are in the league. So you are all stars in your field of work, and we never stop. An important thing is we never really stop coming together as one team and one group to play to win. It is through who we are and our collective efforts that we have earned the privilege of receiving this award today. The award is for every one of you. Thank you. I also want to thank a very supportive board because the board is not just our cheerleaders, right? So they have to guide us and ensure that we're on the right path. So I want to thank the board. Last but not least, to the shareholders. I heard from some of you to say that, Helen, I own your bank shares, so thank you. Thank you, shareholders. And at least, really, really last but not least, to all customers of OCBC Group who have chosen to bank with us over the many, many years, a very big thank you. And with that, thank you to the Business Times and DHL for the recognition, and congratulations on 40 years of the Singapore Business Awards. And to the other winners tonight, a big congratulations as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Wong. Congratulations. A show of hands up until now, how many of you have guessed all the 4 winners correctly? Anyone? Okay. Next year we'll try again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the final award for the evening, the highly anticipated Businessman of the Year Award, affectionately known as the Boy Award. Our past Young at Heart boy and girl winners make up a truly stellar cohort of exceptional business luminaries, and tonight's winner joins this distinguished list. We already have 3 winners tonight from the tech sector, right? Tech, bank. Do you think the last one is also a tech? Somebody was nodding. Yes. So we spoke about passion earlier this evening. Our boy this year is passionate about helping brands achieve their goals by delivering outstanding customer experiences. It's founded in Singapore in 1995, and the company has become a global leader in outsourced business services, a very highly competitive sector, and more impressively, it's trusted by some of the world's most valuable brands, for example, Meta and Airbnb. It was also recently recognized by Financial Times as one of the best employers in APAC for 2025. And this is not the first time the firm's founder has taken stage at the Singapore Business Awards. He famously said, and I quote, "Overnight success takes 15 years. The name sperm is another 4-letter word. Any guesses? Let's have the video to reveal our winner tonight.
In the world of business, true visionaries don't just build companies, they shape industries, disrupt norms, and redefine what's possible. Founder and Group CEO of TDCX has done exactly that. His journey is one of ambition, resilience, and a relentless pursuit of excellence.
When I started TDCX, I saw a real opportunity in Singapore. It wasn't just about starting a company, it was about using Singapore as a launchpad to tap into the incredible growth happening across Asia. The region was booming, multinationals were setting up regional headquarters here, and there was a clear need for high quality, scalable support services. Outsourcing made a lot of sense. It allowed companies to stay lean, move fast, and focus on what they do best. That mix of timing, opportunity, and energy really got me going.
In 1995, at just 29, Laurent took a bold leap, founding TeleDirect Telecommerce in Singapore. With no established playbook and limited resources, he faced skepticism. But his vision was clear: to create a world-class customer experience company at a time when outsourcing in Asia was still uncharted territory.
The early days weren't easy. We had very little capital, no real track record, and outsourcing was still a pretty new concept in Asia. Convincing clients to take a chance on us wasn't simple, but we focused on what we could control, hiring great people, building a strong culture, and delivering really solid work. Those early wins with high-quality clients helped us build momentum and prove that we could compete with the best.
Laurent turned challenges into stepping stones, propelling his company forward.
Well, as we grew, staying ahead meant constantly evolving. We set ourselves apart by leaning into Asia, choosing locations that were not only business hubs, but also magnets for great talent. We built offices people actually wanted to work in, and created a culture that empowered our teams to do their best. That's been a huge part of our journey, going from a local player to a regional force and now a global company working with some of the world's top brands.
Under Laurent's leadership, TDCX not only kept pace with market demands, it stayed ahead of them. From pioneering call centers worldwide to expanding into sales, then content and trust and safety services. TDCX has consistently pushed the boundaries of customer experience innovation.
As tech rapidly changes the CX space, we are getting into the next phase. We're investing in the future, expanding from just CX to new areas like AI services. That's helping us grow our total addressable market from $500 billion to over $1 trillion US. One of the most exciting steps we've taken is launching TDCX AI and Chemin, a venture focused on AI enablement. It's designed to help companies build, train, and scale their AI capabilities with the same quality and care. With the strength of our balance sheet, we're in a great position to support our clients through this next wave of transformation in a digital-first world.
With the launch of TDCX AI, Laurent and his team are shaping the future of customer experience, where artificial intelligence and human expertise merge to create seamless, innovative interactions.
Winning the Businessman of the Year award is incredibly humbling. I'm truly grateful to everyone who's helped me and inspired me along the journey. I know I've been lucky and not everyone gets the same chances. That's why I want to share this recognition with our amazing team and with my wonderful wife and family who've supported me through it all. It's also a moment to think about how we can give back, and that's something we're committed to doing in a structured and meaningful way through the TDCX Foundation.
Beyond business success, Laurent is committed to making an impact through mentorship, corporate social responsibility, and fostering the next generation of leaders.
In my nearly 20 years with TDCX, I have seen personally Laurent's commitment to operational excellence and the impact it has had on our success. His dedication in driving continual improvement, ability to motivate teams and trust in his people have been pivotal to our success.
For me, it's definitely Laurent's strategic vision that has been so crucial in defining TDCX as a thought leader in the evolving CX landscape. His ability to identify emerging trends, coupled with his ingenious ideas, has enabled TDCX to become a powerhouse in delivering exceptional customer experiences for global brands.
Laurent has never been one to lead from the sidelines. He stays grounded and takes time to fully understand clients' challenges, ensuring TDCX continues to meet our evolving needs.
From the very beginning, it was clear that Laurent wasn't just focused on building a business, he was determined to create something transformative. Even when faced with challenges, he always found a way to push forward. And now, seeing where TDCX is today, it's a clear demonstration of his incredible tenacity as a businessman.
He has the ability to zoom out and be a visionary, while also being ready and able to dive into details. He and the team at TDCX have always been deeply invested in ensuring good customer interactions for their clients. I'm amazed at how he has been able to bring out the best in his team.
A bold dream, a fearless journey, a lasting impact. Laurent Junique, Businessman of the Year 2025, shaping the future one customer experience at a time.
May I now invite Businessman of the Year, Mr. Laurent Junique, founder and CEO of TDCX, on stage to receive his award. And may I also invite Minister Chee Hong Tat up on stage to present the award. Woo! Our Businessman of the Year is Mr. Laurent Junique for his visionary leadership in driving world-class digital customer experience and for his boldness in ambition and execution. Congratulations to our Businessman of the Year, Mr. Laurent Junique. And may I now invite Minister Chee Hong Tat and Mr. Junique to unveil a specially commissioned portrait. 1, 2, and 3. Wow! It's a time-honored tradition of the Singapore Business Awards that the Businessman of the Year receives an oil on canvas painted by renowned Singapore artist Siew Hock Ming. I'm sure you will agree it's an exquisite piece of art to be treasured and displayed. Mr. Siew has been contributing to SBA since 2006, and he sees this as a valuable opportunity to be inspired by the aspirations of the great achievers amongst us. May I now invite all of our winners tonight, our prize presenters, to join Minister Chee, Mr. Junique on stage for a group photo, please. Our Young Business Leader of the Year, Mr. Aaron Tan, our Enterprise winner, Aztec Global, represented by Mr. Michael Mann, our Outstanding Overseas Executive, Mr. Irving Tan, Outstanding Chief Executive of the Year, Ms. Helen Wong, and our prize presenters and organizer, Mr. Christopher Tan, Managing Director of DHL, Mr. Chan Yen Kit, CEO of SPH, Mr. Stephen Lee of Singapore Business Awards, Judging Panel, and Ms. Chen Hui Fen, Editor of the Business Times. may I invite all of you back to your seats? And Mr. Junik, please remain on stage to say a few words.
Minister Chee Hong Tat, members of the panel of judges, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very good evening. First of all, I want to thank the Minister and all my Singaporean friends for welcoming me so warmly to this beautiful country. Thank you so much. Thank you to the Business Times and DHL for organizing this wonderful event to support entrepreneurs and businesses. And thank you to the panel of judges for choosing me as the Businessman of the Year. I'm truly honored to receive this award, and honestly, it seems a little bit unreal. You know, I was never a real musician, but I loved music. So I assembled a group of incredibly talented musicians, and together we created a symphony. So over time, I think I've learned to become a pretty good conductor, and so I want to ask you to join me in thanking this wonderful orchestra, my TDCX leadership team, accompanied tonight by some of our fantastic clients. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. It's been quite the journey to get to this stage. Sometimes it feels like it passed in a second, other times like a whole lifetime. And on this path, I've met many great friends, incredible friends, and yes, also a few enemies. Tonight, I want to speak about 3 friends who helped me the most, and also about 2 enemies that taught me important lessons. My best friend here is here tonight. Persistence. Persistence is the one who helps you to get up when you fall, who pushes you forward when you want to stop. It's that quote from President Coolidge that your father leaves on your bedside table. It's that fridge magnet that says, trust your crazy ideas. Or that coffee mug that reads, time is money, a gift from the love of your life. Then there are the non-identical twins, optimism and positivity. They've helped me many times, seeing the glass half full while it was actually half empty. They helped me survive the ups and downs of running a business, but you have to be careful. They can also trick you. Sometimes they don't know the difference between being hopeful and knowing when it's time to stop and to rethink. And then there is love. Love is the glue that binds it all together. The love of my wonderful wife, my family, that gave me the strength to keep going. The love from my team. Without that love, there would be no Businessman of the Year. With it, everything becomes possible. Now, let me tell you about my enemies. The first one is very dangerous, very bad, because it grows stronger over time. That's nostalgia. And I'm sure nostalgia is in this room, smiling somewhere. But let's be honest. Nostalgia is a beautiful liar. It wants you to believe that the awkward, pimply teenager with painful braces, with no access to an iPhone, Google, or Instagram, was somehow happier than today's teenagers. That being young and confused was better than being older and wiser. Nostalgia tells a charming story, but not always a true one. The second enemy is naivety, believing in overnight success, as Pat said, takes 15 years, thinking that talent alone is enough, expecting luck to find you, even when you haven't done the work, a mix of laziness and wishful thinking. That's the perfect recipe for failure, or even worse, emptiness. So, yes, I still hear these voices. I still ask myself, why me? Do I really deserve to be here? That little voice of doubt never fully disappears. But when you have the right friends around you, and you know your enemies by name, life becomes easier, more joyful, and the future becomes brighter. As I look ahead, I feel inspired by the incredible power of technology, not just to grow businesses, but to uplift communities. Through the TDCX Foundation, we want to give back with meaning, with consistency, with heart, to support what really matters, and at the same time, to build new ideas and reach the next level. I'm excited about the next 20 years to conduct new symphonies. And maybe, if you will allow me, I can return here one day and be Businessman of the Year one more time. Thank you again, and good night.
Thank you, Mr. Junik, and congratulations once again. Warmest congratulations to all our prize winners this evening, and a big thank you to our prize presenters and minister. And to all of you, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the celebration and applauding our winners' achievements and for celebrating alongside them. At this point, I would also like to acknowledge the Business Times and DHL Express Singapore for their unwavering commitment in hosting these awards year after year to honor the best in the industry. It's been a great pleasure working with the SBA committee, and as we commemorate 40 years of unwavering partnership, let's honor the shared passion that has transformed possibilities into realities, and may this milestone inspire us all to continue forging ahead, paths of purposes and innovation together. And now it's my absolute pleasure to invite Ms. Chen Hui-Fen, editor of the Business Times, to deliver her closing remarks. Ms. Chen?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your presence at the Singapore Business Awards, also known as the SBA. Tonight, we're celebrating not just top business leadership, but a milestone birthday. As Chris said earlier, the SBA is 40 this year, old enough to remember Madonna and Michael Jackson, fax machines, and pager numbers. Back in 1985, the late BT editor Roy McKee must have thought, the singers have Grammys, the actors have Oscars, but what about the business people? So the idea was born to shine a light on local enterprise talent through a Businessman of the Year award, affectionately known as the Boy Award. There was even an essay competition in conjunction with the award, because nothing says celebration quite like writing 1,500 words with you on corporate management. By 1986, the Enterprise Award was added to spotlight the smaller companies doing big things. And by year 5, we added new categories and upgraded the name to the SBA. Because let's face it, we couldn't call it Boy forever. Fast forward to today, we have honored more than 130 remarkable individuals and companies. They have shaped not just the industries they are in, but also made waves beyond Singapore. And just as impressively, we've worked with the same co-organizing partner, DHL, for 40 years. That's longer than many marriages and definitely longer than any telco contract. In reflecting the past 40 years, certain qualities consistently shine through in our winners. I shall outline 3 of them. First, persistence. Take Laurent Junique. When he arrived in Singapore in 1991, he only had a suitcase, $10,000, and dreams that were probably bigger than his budget. Despite cultural differences and past entrepreneurship failures, Laurent found business success in Singapore when he started a telemarketing firm and grew it to a global provider of customer experience and digital marketing services. Or Western Digital's Irving Tan, who rises at 4:30 a.m. to navigate extremely varied issues across continents, from tariffs and engineering roadmaps to company values and investor relations. As he said in an interview with BT, a transformative advice he received from a senior executive was, if you haven't failed, it means you're not pushing the envelope hard enough. Second, adaptability. And it's not just about being flexible. It is the courage to lead change when everyone else is clinging to the status quo. Like Caro's Aaron Tan, who transformed the used car marketplace by not only professionalizing the trade, but also embracing AI to price cars and to make his team faster and smarter. Caro's forays into vehicle servicing, financing, and insurance also diversified the group's revenue sources. Despite selling more than 100,000 used cars a year, vehicle sales accounted for very little of Caro's gross profit. Then there's Michael Munn of Aztec Global. His approach is not to fear copycats tearing up your new products, but to out-innovate them. With relentless R&D, he transformed his company from a computer products seller to a one-stop design and manufacturing services provider. Third, leadership. Not just the kind that sets direction, but the kind that sees around corners. We see this in Helen Wong of OCBC, who implemented a one-group approach that leveraged strengths across the bank's ASEAN and Greater China networks. She implemented a system of collaboration dollars, a measure of the level of cooperation among staff. It's an internal tracking system to encourage staff to create value in other markets besides what they are responsible for. It's like bonus points for playing nicely with others. Reminds me of kindergarten, but with cross-border finance and a lot more zeros involved. Her leadership is shaped by basketball, reminding us that success is a team sport, even in boardrooms. You can read more about their stories in tomorrow's BT. As we conclude tonight's celebration, let's not just look back at what's been achieved, but forward to what's possible. May we continue to push boundaries, embrace change, and lead with vision, hopefully not at 4:30 a.m. like Irving. Thank you, Minister for Transport, Mr. Chee Hong Tat, for being our guest of honor. I guess this will be the last night we can call you Transport Minister. We wish you all the best at the Ministry of National Development. Thank you, DHL, for being our staunch partner throughout the past 40 years. Truly, DHL, you are the MVP, most valuable player of logistics. Many thanks to the esteemed judges, Stephen Lee, Lim Ming Yen, Jenny Chua, Christopher Ong, Wee Yong Chun, Jacqueline Po, Ginny Lim, Prof. Chow Hao Wee, Prof. Kenneth Goh, Lo Bun Chai, and Wong Wei Kong. And of course, my CEO, Mr. Chan Yen Kit, and all our BT and SPH colleagues for making today possible. Here's to the next magnificent chapter of the Singapore Business Awards, stronger, bolder, and still classy at 40. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Hui Fen. We've come to the end of the evening, and I must say I've enjoyed myself a lot. I hope you did too. If you did, please turn to your friend, your kaki next door and say, I enjoyed seeing you, let's keep in touch. On behalf of Business Times and DHL, it remains for me to thank all of you for being here this evening. Thank you, Minister, for gracing the occasion, and I wish all of you a wonderful evening ahead. Good night, everyone.